You're watching Channel 3, SF-TV.
So, the crew of the Avicenna, having received the results of their detailed scans and of their expanding patrols, had narrowed down 5 distinct sectors which had a high probability of being able to hide Elaan's duty from your scans. And so if you were an active proponent who were hiding it, or if you were unable to signal and move, those were the 5 places where you would actually need to physically go to check things out because of terrain that would block sensors. So probes were sent out to some of the zones, and the Avicenna went to the most suspicious zone where they had detected a brief warp signature.
We were awesome, and we found them.
Yeah. When they got there, they discovered, or you discovered, some wreckage. And I say some because Embuto, being Embuto, recognizes it's not enough to be one of these starliners that they use in the Helena system. It's not enough to represent the entire ship having been destroyed. But it's in a place where a ship could be destroyed. And so the Avicenna searched to make sure, that the wreckage wasn't distributed, far and wide through this terrible region. They searched for a perpetrator or a lurker or any of these things, and they did find a trail. And following that trail led them into tremendous peril, eventually resulting in the injury of Embuto and the destruction of the sensor system, which caused a significant delay. A loss of 2 hours of time was represented by trying to follow this trail and the resulting catastrophes that came up. But at the other end of that 2-hour delay in the search provided the bridge crew with the information that they are able to piece together to recognize that there is a specific ship that's been making specific transits in this system. And according to some science officer named Spock, it's highly probable that
guy again, his name keeps coming up.
It's highly probable that this ship is some modified version of an Orion vessel. And a warning is attached in that it will perform beyond expectations for its size.
That makes 2 of us.
At that point, the Avicenna discovered a chase. An Elasian starliner is chasing a Troyan starliner and attempting to initiate hostilities in their low-tech way, even going so far as to launch like single-pilot fighter craft in order to pursue and harry the Troyan vessel. The Avicenna deftly and nimbly interposing itself between them and elegantly trapping the Elasian vessel in its tractor beam. And a lot of that elegance and grace was required because normal procedures would have destroyed the Elasian ship.
Right. We're dealing with Tinker Toys here. So, yeah.
So, once again, surprising the crew with his daring, Captain Tillich had the commanders beamed off of the command decks of the 2 ships, and,
Yep.
and then he exited the bridge, leaving Korsakov at the con, taking Embuto with him, the first officer. So, at that moment, Korsakov demands to find out what's going on. Where is this ship? And as they extend sensors to look for it, it arrives from warp. It's not a surprise. Everybody's prepared. No one's caught flat-footed, and it is not an attack. But it does choose to angle its approach to come in behind the Avicenna, which, as a warship, is its least has the fewest firing arcs of weapons, but still does have a nice double-barreled photon torpedo rack.
I would like to point out that we are still really just a flying saucer.
Essentially, yes.
So I'm not too worried about the behind part.
But its attack angle is such that it is zeroing in, it's locking its weapons on the Troyan vessel in particular.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's where we left. And we go to a fantastic, truly fantastic commercial. And then we come back. So
please tell me, double mint gum.
No.
The hint is involves children singing.
You did
Oscar
watch.
Mayer. No, it's totally Oscar Mayer. I know either Oscar Mayer or Armour, the hot dog wars of the early 70s. I remember them well.
All right.
All in black and white in my memory, sadly. But
this one's kind of a sepia. It's a very strange coloration on this cartoon. But anyway.
Oh my God!
So,
dude, check out the Trippy Nutter Butter one sometime. Those things were creepy.
With the muted klaxons in the background, the red light, but so that there can be dialogue, the volume
Yes, of course.
of the klaxon is lowered.
The proper urgency without truly being annoying. Yeah.
All right. So just to remind everybody, we have Lieutenant Korsakov at the con. We have Ensign Mondragon of security at tactical, which is next to the sensor station. We have a crew member at the sensor station. The first officer, Mbuto, having been requested to go with the captain. We have Anya Smith at communications. We have Ensign Yang at the helm. We have a crew member at engineering, life support, and auxiliary. This is a ship of war, highly prepared for war by Lieutenant Korsakov. So as the klaxons are ringing, as all of this is falling into place, 2 security officers come through the turbo lift and take up a station at the doors.
Right. Andrew Yang, is that correct? His first name is Andrew? Am I miswriting?
Let's make it Andrew then.
No, I don't remember.
I've never formalized it, but that works.
No, I don't think that's right. I think that's, you never formalized. Okay, then we'll leave it that way. I just couldn't remember. Okay. So if it's unknown, we'll stay unknown. We never do. I think
it's a while before we hear
it takes a while before we hear any number of Pavel, Chekhov, and I don't think Sulu's first name is ever mentioned in the actual show.
I honestly don't remember at this point.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
Well, the first things first. We are to fire upon that ship, and we are to disable it. We are in a serious situation here. We have lives to protect, and we are supposed to avoid conflict. And the way to avoid conflict between Elan, or Elas, and Troyius is to unconflict that guy. So, that's my plan. So the first things first is rear phasers lock on.
There aren't any.
You only have torpedoes.
Oh right. Well, the rear. Okay, rear torpedoes. Rear torpedo, lock and fire.
All right. Now this isn't the game master saying don't do this. This is the game master role playing Mondragon. What he has to do according to the rules, right? According to the Starfleet.
Talk to me.
All right. So he says, photons, Lieutenant, meaning that this is going to escalate the situation. This is going to escalate threat. It's totally okay to fire photon torpedoes, but it's giving me threat. And if you choose to fire a spread,
a salvo,
which is awesome. Who wouldn't want to fire a spread?
Me, my prepared spread, yes.
Right. In the pattern, then that will give me 2 threat. And this simply represents that photon torpedoes are designed to destroy ships. Phasers are designed to, let's say, do damage, disable, that kind of stuff. And so you definitely want to, it sounds like you want to send a photon torpedo message anyway. I just want you to do it.
Well, first of all, they are the only weapon we have facing them, so that's settled right there. And I am not interested in doing little ballet dances around for a while. We have little ships to protect, period. Okay, if it was just us, we could do a little ballet dance to, to find the right location and everything for our minimum weapons, because that's what Starfleet pansies do.
Oh, no, it's not about Starfleet at all.
No, I know that. But hold on, let me continue. That was just a little footnote just for anybody listening who needs to hear it. So then the other question is, we do have the torpedo barrage ready for just this exact situation.
Yeah.
That's what it's for.
That's what it's for.
So, yes.
We spent a scene preparing for this.
That's
this is the
right.
smoking
And
gun.
I want my
It's the Chekhov's gun.
I want my advantage. Thank you very much.
It's time to fire the gun.
Yes. And that's Pavel, not Anton, right?
That's right.
Okay, so let's continue with our barrage of photons. It said confirmed, Luis, and I use his first name.
Okay. And I will risk life and limb by sharing the screen.
Yes.
And I will give myself threat.
Wait, that's the other good question. Are we doing the one thread, one torpedo, or are we doing the spread, which is the 3 threads?
I believe Ron just called for the
Single torpedo?
Well, let's see. The rules check. Does using the barrage gain me time save me time and or gain advantage?
No.
It will.
Not in that sense, I believe.
Well, let's see I just want to know what the rules consequence.
Yeah, and actually,
Not
since
gain
you brought
it. Well, I don't mean gain advantage. I mean use advantage.
Yeah, actually, since you brought it up, the salvo method, if you roll a complication, if I believe, or get a complication, you can actually hit someone else.
Can I give them
within the area? Yeah.
This is just algebra, okay? When I say use an advantage, I mean give them a complication. All right, whatever. So the point is that do I get one of those?
Right.
Anthony.
That
thing, does it happen?
Yes.
Because I think it does. Okay. In that case, barrage. Now, that's what it's for.
I just want you to understand what's going on. If they were cloaked, it would give you an opportunity to fire on them, which you normally would not have.
Right. Correct.
Right. At the normal difficulty for hitting a ship that you can see, +1.
+1 die. Okay.
Yeah, so you go...
There are worse things.
+1 difficulty. So you'd go from I can't do it, it's impossible, to I can do it, but it's harder than it normally would be, which is okay.
Wait. The barrage makes it harder, not easier?
The barrage makes it possible.
Possible.
If they are cloaked.
So they're not cloaked, so I'm not getting anything by using it. All right, single photon.
All right.
One thread.
Would have been fun to hit them with a barrage, though. All right.
I know, but,
Mondegron has to fire. Okay. So this is control and security as a task for him. Now, you'll notice that there is no roll for initiative. You're going first, because that's what happens, unless I choose to make it otherwise, which I am not, because you're not the target of the attack and that sort of stuff. So.
All understood.
And he will be assisted by weapons plus security.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So, for what is his target number for the
Mondragon's. What are we using? What and security?
Control.
Control and security. Mondragon. Controls 8, security is 4, so that makes it 12. Target number.
2 dice, Anthony.
Yes.
I get a single success.
A single success. Right.
Okay. Now, That's how things work in normal games. Okay? We're not playing a normal game. We're playing Star Trek Adventures. So Korsakov has ordered the fire. All right? So we understand that what Mondragon is doing as a supporting character is firing the photon torpedoes, right? He's going to roll dice. He's going to get some numbers. However, his Korsakov has ordered him to do this. He's giving him a directive, right? Do this. Fire. Okay? So what we're actually going to roll for this is Korsakov's command.
Got it. Okay.
Right? So presence plus command.
In that
and it's
case,
going to be assisted. It's going to be assisted by Mondragon's control plus security.
I see. Okay, so the roll that I just made is actually for Korsakov.
There you go. So Korsakov
in that it is still the result is the same.
The result is the same. He gets one success. Now.
And then I get a single die for Mondragon's assistance.
That's right.
I will roll
against
that.
Mondragon's control plus security.
Yes. And that unfortunately is not a success. Sorry, KC should have rolled that, not me, I suppose.
It's all right.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's all right. But then, do I roll for the ship?
We roll for the ship. It's weapons plus security.
Excellent. KC, that's you.
Security. Right, so weapons and security is 9 plus 3 is also 12. I get a 1.
Cool.
2 success.
Ooh. You rolled a quantitative 1, so that's actually 2 successes added, correct? Okay.
That is correct.
Magnificent.
All right. So, let's picture it, right? The Avicenna is hanging from the viewer's perspective upside down with the tractor beam emitting its frosty blue glow over the Elasian ship. And from the Elasian ship's perspective, as we pan around, we lose sight of the Troyan ship. Right, the Avicenna is completely blocking it from view. And then, from behind the camera into view, comes this incredibly fast pass, like a strafing attack, going from extreme range, right, to close range.
Close range. Wow.
It's telling us
they've improved their little, choo-choo track film special effect technology. So now it really looks like it's coming up on you.
Right. So it's coming in, and we're very likely to miss because it will be too close if we don't fire at the right time. So the ability to fire is hanging mostly on Korsakov rather than the mechanism of signaling to the photon torpedo guys to launch.
Wait for it, fire. Yeah.
That kind of thing. Okay. Fortunately, the ship is highly programmed to anticipate targets. Right, so we can see the logic of where the successes come from. Right. Now we'll cast briefly KC in the role of Mondragon. Ron is Korsakov, right? And let's just walk through ordering the hit.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, so photon torpedoes. So I'll recap what was already said. Photon torpedoes, and then torpedoes, sir, confirmed. And then I say single
shot.
Yeah, just making sure that it's not a barrage, right? Single. So that's up to Mondragon.
All right.
Or single, and then I will say on my mark.
And Mondragon we haven't actually played Mondragon that much, have we?
Right. Remember, daring is his big thing is daring, though.
Daring, yeah.
Daring is his big thing. Oh, actually, I should just pull up the sheet, see if I can remember something about him. But I think, Mondragon, having served under Korsakov, this is business as usual. Maybe there's a much stronger synchronization in terms of he gives the orders, I do the orders as he gives them.
Interesting.
So daring is at 10, security 4. Yeah, and he has no questions or doubts about Korshakov's orders of when to fire, even though he's daring like that. But he trusts his commanding officers' timing of when to fire. Yeah, so he fires as ordered, and his trust is not proven wrong again.
Right.
Okay. And the photon strikes the photon torpedo. Interesting. Strikes.
Yeah. One photon strikes the ship. Really? Yeah.
One single photon, lighting it up briefly. Okay, so a photon torpedo from the Avicenna gets 6 challenge dice. Two, 4, 6. Your difficulty to hit was 3, and you got 3 successes. So we're not sitting on any momentum. If we had momentum, there are things that you could have done.
Oh, yeah. We would like to, but we're doing hard stuff now. Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. Everybody remembers how the challenge dice work.
I'm looking for little bursts and federations, and I see a couple.
1 blank die.
Yeah, not bad out of 5.
Right. So 1, yeah, 1, 2,
right.
6.
6
plus
damage plus 4 effects.
Plus 4 effects. Yes.
Ooh, I'm liking the effects.
Let me try to recall if I can know where I placed the effects. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Got it? Okay, so walk us through it.
The thing is, I believe that the torpedoes have a specific effect. It's not something that we can choose. Or is that my mistake?
All right, so we're not firing at a specific system. We're just
I wish we would have, but it probably would have upped the difficulty, so no.
Yeah, sure, it ups the difficulty, and it's
no.
more of a next generation thing anyway. So.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we're going to roll a
That's
D20.
true. Yeah, in the original show, you just blasted, you know. So...
All right. So we're going to roll a D20.
Okay, yes, that's that. And what do we have?
We got a 16.
That would hit.
What does that tell us? Structure.
That would hit the structure.
So if we get to the point where, damage is a reality, it's not just shields, then it's going to be a structural hit. All right. So we've done 6
damage to shields.
The ship itself gets resistance, which is going to reduce some of this damage.
Right.
Okay. So I'm actually taking away 3 of these 6.
Okay,
okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Could we have used one of the effects to reduce the resistance?
Well, let's take a look.
So torpedoes. All right, so it's photon torpedoes. It has a high yield quality, which is for breaches, which doesn't apply.
Right. Has to do a breach.
It's the big boom.
So what it's going to do is, if you get a breach, it's going to give you another
breach, which is actually very good. So I'm not making the connection between the quality of the weapon, which is high yield, versus the damage effect, which is what you get from rolling the effects on the challenge dice.
That's the weapon quality, high yield, which you get access to if there are effects on the dice.
So first, let's do the effects, and then we will benefit from our high yield. I hope.
All right. So we've inflicted 3 damage.
Damage to shields.
Okay. Which comes off the shields, which is less than 5, which doesn't overwhelm the ship or cause. Right?
So everybody over there has to throw themselves around the set.
Yes.
Or just shake the camera, like how they do it.
Yeah. I don't know. They're There was an instance where one of the actresses on board the Enterprise bridge in a combat scene broke her arm by simply hurling herself around, and the actors, they didn't use stunt people a lot of the time, so the actors just had to throw themselves, across the place and land however they could.
Sometimes
they-
they're somersaulting even.
Yeah, and of course they weren't, to make it look good, that meant they couldn't land well. They had to land badly. So, you earned your payback then. It wasn't very much.
You probably earn less if you were a stunt double.
Oh yeah. Geez, those guys, unbelievable. Fall off the horse again. Take 3. Oh my God.
Okay. So we get what basically amounts to a glancing blow. Massive detonation of energy. I deduct shield points, right? The Orions definitely know that they have been hit. One of their officers must be yelling about by how much the shields have been reduced, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it begins its pass. Now, you remember, it had clearly targeted the Troyans.
Troyan ship.
Yeah. So Ensign Yang, maintain our interposition. What's the right word for that? Maintain our position in defense of the Troyan ship.
Trojans?
Whoever they're firing at. Elas?
The Trojans.
Which one are they?
We were in between the Trojans and the Elas. So if you're going for the Trojans,
I want to interpose ourselves between the Orions
and Trojans and the
their
Orions.
Targets. Yes.
So that would mean moving from.
Yes, it does. Put us in the way, Ensign Yang.
Okay.
Okay.
So my memory of the rules tells me that it's just as simple as a minor action, and it's not something that's a task.
Yeah.
Well, excellent. Then that's exactly it.
Ensign Yang pulls the ship.
That would
position
be
for Max.
That would be true.
Position. Right. And
that would be true
possible,
if Ensign Yang were operating by himself, but he's not. He's operating against the Orions, who would like to be in position to fire where they want to fire.
I smell a conflict.
Right?
Yep.
So, Ensign Yang, you have to do better than.
Do better than a minor action would permit. Yeah.
You have to do better than they do. Right? You have to outfly them.
Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, Mondragon, prepare phasers.
Right. So,
Ensign Yang. Remaneuvering, I'm hoping that we've got more of a nose-to-nose.
Right. Control plus con.
Control plus con. Difficulty?
The difficulty is to beat the other guy.
Oh, okay, right.
Yes, I'll be rolling too.
Yeah, by a number of successes.
I'm going to spend a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Of course you are.
Because that's why I have them. So I'm rolling 3 dice. Unlike people who only can roll 2. Unless, of course, you'd like to give me some threat.
Yeah, and either that or challenge a value and grab a determination if you have any. I don't remember if you have any.
5, 4, 3,
yeah.
2.
One threat
all
it is,
right,
then.
Anthony.
One threat it is. Ahead. All right, cool beans.
One threat it is then.
3 versus 3. Roll.
Yep. Oh, this is supposed to be good. Okay. I have 3 successes. I would like to check though.
Yeah.
Can I apply my evasive action focus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would mean 1 more success then. So I have 4 successes in total.
Okay. I mean, you're not technically evading anything, but
yeah,
I like the idea of it.
Weaving and the ballet dance.
There's some intrinsic evasion to this that isn't that bad an idea, I suppose.
All right. So you vastly outclass
Ooh.
Right. This ship is, part of it is that they're moving so very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the other part of it is simply Ensign Yang is better. You can have 2 momentum, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay. 2 momentum. So my first instinct, as always, would be let's create advantage. But I think in the combat situation, this is probably somewhere a
Want to
good place
knock
where
down
we
their
can
resistance? Or knock down the difficulties,
we
I
can
mean?
create a
Well,
problem.
hang
That's
on,
a good
hang on,
point.
Yeah,
hang on.
yeah, giving
hang
them
on,
problems is a great
hang
idea.
on.
Let's-
Stop.
Why?
It's
We're
not
having
even
fun.
your
Go ahead.
turn.
Who's
Oh,
you?
okay.
The entire crew of the Avicenna. You went.
Okay.
You fired on them.
Mm-hmm.
They went. Had you momentum to buy an additional task or a swift task or something, then it would still be you. But that was them. You're in their turn.
Oh, I see. Right. We were basically defending. Okay. Gotcha.
Now, the cool part about how initiative works in Star Trek Adventures is that it's non-linear in the sense of when we have someone shooting at you, if you do better than them, then you're going to do damage to them or whatever, right?
Right. You have reactive
Yeah.
activity.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Reactivity.
But that was their turn.
Okay.
Now it's your turn.
But we do have our momentum sitting there, and we can enthuse about what we would do with it when the day comes.
Which is now.
So, mhm.
How
So
soon
well,
is
the
now?
first things first. Orders are to Mondragon. The I'll save congratulations for Yang later, even though I feel them deeply, and then it is to Mondragon. Fire phasers, 2 pulses. Two.
Does that translate to are we spending extra power?
I have no
for that?
idea whether that means a thing or not. We'll find out. Or if it's required, then we'll do it. If it's not, then it's just pretty.
Okay. All right. Let's keep it simple. Let's spend power for additional damage dice.
Sounds great. That's exactly
Right.
what I want.
Let's spend 1.
You want to spend 1, not 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One.
Well, 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One. I didn't say unload. I just said two. Right?
Okay. We're going to go back to sharing the screen. Because why not? We're going to go to this. There we go. So we're going to spend 1 power to fire the phasers, 1 additional power for extra damage dice.
Done.
Excellent. And it's going to work exactly the same way as last time, working off of Korsakov's.
Right. So I've got my
Timing.
dice.
Yeah.
Now, Casey, this is a quick system tactical moment. I'm thinking of grabbing a momentum for an extra die and of assigning another momentum to give them either to reduce the difficulty, which sounds like fun, or to assign them a complication.
That will cost you 2 though.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So in that case, maybe just the 1 for the extra die, and
we'll keep the other one.
keep
as a
the other
backup.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Good.
Okay,
That's
let's do it. Here are my 3 dice for Korsakov,
Cool.
and that's still going to be command
Yes.
and security. So that puts me
Presence and
presence. There it
command.
is. Right. Okay. Presence and command,
command.
which is
Now you have purchased
okay.
a die with momentum.
I got it. Yes.
Yeah.
So I've got my 3 dice.
Yeah.
And I get 1 success as usual. When I roll multiple dice, they all sort of creep to the top.
Okay. So here's the thing, Ron. Remember, this is a command task, which Korsakov's cautious talent plays into. Now we've had days of Korsakov preparing for all of this.
Correct. Yes, that's true.
It's the reroll.
You're not happy with that roll. You have an opportunity to take a point of momentum and
re-roll all
one
the,
of them.
all the failures, or one of them?
One
Okay.
of them.
One of them.
So should I blow that momentum on this, Casey?
That's what they're there for.
Okay. This time I get it.
Cool.
Like barely. got my target number.
Doesn't
Okay.
matter. So Korsakov's caution is paying off, right? His planning. This is awesome.
Right.
Now we still get the ship die and Mondragon.
So I'll roll for Mondragon. Casey, you want to roll for the ship?
All right. Sure,
Okay.
we'll do.
Ooh. Now I do it. Mondragon gets a 1, so that's 2 successes.
Oh, the second one.
How about you, Casey?
The ship also gets a success.
Oh,
All right.
that's 3. So we now have
Four?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I'm counting correctly.
2 and 2 is 4 and 1 is 5 in most math systems that I am aware of. I can't count much
no
higher.
Square root. Right. That's right. That's as far as I go, guys. No more dice for you. Yeah. Other hand, Anthony. Other hand.
Can't use it. It's holding a dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
very cool.
What's the challenge dice?
So our difficulty for that attack was 2. So this
so
is
that's 3.
bringing 3 momentum in hand.
On our turn.
All right. So you might want to look at the momentum spends in combat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Right.
Okay. So just to go through them: bonus damage, penetration, reroll of damage, devastating attack, swift task, and power loss.
Power loss.
Those are the headings. They all have specific effects. Anyway, so keep that in mind.
Yeah. The macho appeal of devastating attack is one thing. The power loss is also quite tempting.
Yes. All right. So phaser banks from the Avicenna, awesome as they are, it's not 6 dice.
Right.
This would be 6 dice. It's 8 dice.
Oh my God.
Because of their qualities as
Right. It's something that.
Now you have spent 1 power,
Yes, for firing.
which gives us
2 power, right?
1 to fire them
One
and
to fire.
1
Okay.
bonus
Right.
power to give
Right.
them 1 more die. So now you're looking at 9 dice.
Golly.
So for those of you who are considering buying Star Trek Adventures dice,
Yeah.
this is why you need more than 1 pack.
That's right. Go big. Clearly is the message here. Right.
They have to be well shaken. How about that?
Now let's take a look. Any blanks?
There are so far 3 blanks.
No, 3 out of 9.
There are
Maybe
3
one.
doubles, and there are
3
3
doubles.
effects.
All right then. 3 doubles is exactly what we want instead of 3. So that's 6.
That's a lot of damage. That's
Yeah,
9
six
damage.
booms and 3 effects, which are always good. I like effects.
Now, for 1 momentum, you can re-roll any dice you don't like.
Let's keep our momentum. What do you think, Casey? I want to use momentum for
Don't fret about
other things.
It's fine. Just want you to know that the option exists.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So that's
Tell
2,
us
4,
where we
6, 7, 8, 9 damage. Plus, you have access to the phaser's weapon qualities, which are what,
Let's
Casey?
take a look at those. Yes.
That's versatile. So the attack gains X points of bonus momentum if successful. And for phases, it's versatile too. So we add 2 more momentum to the pool.
Yeah.
Ooh, 2 momentum. That is awesome.
So that should put up to 5.
Oh my God.
Um,
Jeez. I feel like
Don't you feel powerful?
I was going to say, well, I don't know about powerful. I certainly feel like I'm in the candy store, but keep going.
and since Anthony brought up the whole thing about momentum spent in starship combat, I think one particular momentum spend we can do that would be very interesting to run is we can actually reduce their resistance.
Penetration.
Yes.
Considering it was precision shots, that seems to make some sense.
Yeah. So for 1 momentum, we can reduce the resistance to 2 by 2 for
By
each
2.
momentum spent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
They
reduce
have a
it.
resistance of 3.
3.
Yeah, dropping that to 1 is
So
telling them something. So yeah.
Or we could spend 2 momentum to drop it by 4, which comes to 0.
No, I don't think so.
Right.
I think we will spend 1 to drop it to 1.
All right, so
That
it's
seems
your attack,
very
so
sensible.
that's cool. So
Yeah.
this is gone.
Yeah.
They
Right.
have a 1
1
resistance.
point 1.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'm going. So we're now doing. That was 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now
Right.
it's 8.
Now regarding the basic, well, okay, regarding the phaser's special qualities, do we check to see what system was compromised on their ship or anything like that?
We're going to roll a d20 to see what system was.
I'm
was
very
hit.
interested in that. Very interested in that.
The phaser's special quality was this bonus momentum,
Yes.
which you're going to have to use
We plan on it,
Or-
believe me.
in
Or
this
lose
roll, or it can't be banked.
We will use all the momentum, I assure you.
Here comes the. Oh, you roll the d20. You roll the d20, not me.
Oh, I roll a d20. Oh,
Yeah, roll a
okay.
d20.
Because you hit.
I roll I believe that's another 16.
Sure.
Interesting.
So that would also
But
be
we still have to go
Structure.
through the shields first.
Yeah.
Well-
I know, but we know what the
Yeah,
shields were
we know
covering.
where we know.
Right.
Well,
Right.
well, depending where we hit, and we simply hit structure twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they may have some consequences to that.
All right, so I'm gonna bring up the Avicenna as our example. So we're looking at the Avicenna now. If this hit had hit you instead of them, I would be taking away
All
8
All
of
the
these
shields,
shield boxes.
Right.
And because 5 was done, that's the benchmark for injury on a character or enough damage that the ship rocks enough that there are effects happening inside the ship, right? So you've done 8, so that's a really significant hit.
Yes.
Plus, in the same turn, right, they were also hit by photons, which also took away 3. Right? So if they had the same amount of shields, you have 11 shields, right? They have just, they've all been wiped out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. That's if they were as big as the Avicenna, which
They are either a little bigger or a little smaller, as far as I can tell, and so we can assume that their shields are either absent or very, very compromised.
there you go.
So
One can tell that.
Structure. Okay. we've hit the structure. Okay.
So now for those other 4 momentum. Now, one thing I know is that we may either be limited or at least have extra options specific to phasers. But are we done with that part? Or are we?
Okay.
Well,
So you
we
have
still have. All right, Anthony, go.
so the ship is going to suffer 1 or more breaches.
Yeah.
Okay. A breach is a technical term for having taken 5. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you take a look at our Avicenna ship sheet, you'll see that for each system we have a number of little check boxes. Right.
Right.
Okay. So if the ship suffers 5 or more damage from a single attack after reduction, the system suffers a breach. So we have a breach in structure.
Yep.
Which is, I'm going to have to go to a chart to look up what the specific effect is. If the ship had 0 shields before the attack, it
We would have
will do additional damage. But we reduced it to 0 with the
I get
attack.
it. Yep.
Additional damage.
So I need to look up structure.
This is damaged.
Yep. Do you have it? Structure damage. I have it.
I'm trying to look through. Yeah. So we're looking at structure.
There's some color that goes with it, but we already know, right? We get a cutscene to the bridge of the Orion vessel, right? The Orions, as you may remember, are green with dark hair and wild staring eyes, right? Very athletic. And the ship rocks, it fills with light, and it's not a stark and militaristic looking interior. right? It's lush, right? Everything is heavily cushioned. There are vibrant colors. There are deeply
Oh man,
recessed lights.
they get the luxury liner
right?
starships.
And
We get
it's
the
an
Pan Am special.
it is, however, an all male crew,
Mhm.
so it's not all good. Okay.
It depends.
Power
Come on.
conduits rupture, consoles explode, the personnel are hurled around. I need to roll a challenge die. However, it comes up blank and nothing happens.
Okay. It
Terribly
got
sorry.
off the screen is what it did. Got off camera.
Sorry. It's this one.
There we go. All right.
All right.
All right, there you go. Okay, so no effects. Back to black.
And because of... Don't close the book. That will drive you crazy later. You'll never find that page.
Oh, tell me. I know.
Now, because of the massive impact, shields drop. The sensor operator yells out, "The shields are down," right? And the ship goes tumbling, right? Rocketing past the Avicenna, rocketing past the Troyan ship, still moving at incredible velocity. But the sensor operator informs you that they seem to be out of control. The ship is tumbling.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's excellent. All right. I'm going to make a commands decision now, and it's totally in my cautious zone, in my we could be, well, not that we could be wrong. I'm not worried about we could be wrong. I already challenged that one and I like it. But it is in line with at least one other value and certainly with a focus. I'm going to say hold position. I want an update on the Elasian and Troyan vessels.
All right.
Because I do not want them to resume hostilities. If we do, Mondragon, prepare to target the hostile vessel. I'm willing to take that thing down if we have to.
Sure. Sir, yes, sir.
I'm not liking it. I don't want to fire on either of these vessels.
Starts the re-aiming process.
Right. And I'll say to Anya, and again using first names, I'll say, Anya, hail that ship.
And
Okay.
she just presses the button as if her hand is already there.
Yeah, that's what. She doesn't even touch anything, I bet. Kind of a
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah.
And by that ship you mean the Orion.
It's like Radar O'Reilly in
Yeah,
match.
the Orion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a highly trained crew. So as Korsakov is speaking to Anya, right, over his shoulder, the engineering duty station has the engineer calling for power reserves and a redistribution of power to replenish the energy that was used in the initial exchange. We can hear that
Excellent.
going on in the
That's
background.
nice.
We're not going to focus on that.
Yeah.
Anya needs to try and hail the ship.
Excellent.
All right.
Since neither of us control them at the moment.
It's going to be working through Ensign Yang there, through KC.
Okay. Gotcha.
So who's the lead here?
Just to give us a little bit more meat. You're playing Yang. Anya's a supporting character. She'll be contributing dice like Mondragon was, but you'll be speaking for her and whatnot.
If we need any justification for that, it's the repositioning of the ship, which actually has the dramatic effect of saying we know who we're really here to talk to.
Right.
And it's not the Orions.
No, Yang did steer the ship to intercede between the Orion ship and the Troyius ship.
Right.
Since
you're giving us the ship's body language, and that's everything in this situation. So Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's putting himself back between the Elasians and the Trojan, and the Trojan ship. And at the same time, where Anya, punches in the hailing frequencies to the Orion ship, are we asking for a surrender, or are we just trying to establish communication?
Hang on, Anya. Right? Remember that whole
Yeah,
already done thing.
Uh-huh.
She can hear Korsakov in her ear saying, "Hail that ship." But in that precise moment, she's intercepting the older Klingon code, which she had partially decoded before, but had, eluded her a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm hoping that she can deal with.
We're not losing that momentum, are we, by the way?
Yeah.
Well, we need to finish using our momentum before we do anything else.
But 3 of it came from versatile. It was bonus momentum to be used in the moment.
Right.
So you used one of them.
You used one of them.
I really didn't want to lose the rest of those. I did want to use all that momentum.
Okay, so let's rewind a little bit. And what other
I
nastiness
want to
would you like
our
to
attack on that ship?
There you go.
By using all the momentum that is dedicated to it.
So you would need.
I don't
you'll
want
be able to keep 2. You can see 2 on the screen, right? These other 2, these needed to be used.
Right. Perfect. So, Casey, you are our rules jockey here. What do we do with those momentum? To the Orions.
To the Orions.
I'd particularly like to keep them from being able to go anywhere, but that's up to them. Or, I don't know, do something awful to them.
Well, as far as the specific momentum spends for ship combat, the ones I can think of right off is we can do a power loss, we can reduce the power, we can do extra damage, which at this point I think doesn't really make a difference.
No, I think let's lose them their power.
So
let's get rid of their power. That sounds like an excellent idea.
So it's one point repeatable for one momentum per power.
Yep.
However, we can't forget the fact that with the momentum we generated, we can still use them as we would normally use momentum. So that means we can actually still consider the create problem and create opportunity or advantage.
Here's my suggestion. 2 of those, the ones that we have to use, drop them by 2 power. Just do that.
Okay.
And then the other 2, I'm thinking that we should give them a complication, but that costs 2 momentum to do, correct?
Correct.
Okay, let's do that.
That works.
So let's go to Ron then, through the lens of Mondragon, right? He's got the more precise phasers at his disposal. He's firing at this very, very fast ship, and he's increased the power output of the phasers, right, to try and punch through their shields. That successfully happened, right? Strikes a devastating blow, right? Per his training, what kind of negative outcome would result on the Orion vessel? Something simple that either makes it harder to do something or makes it impossible to do something.
I think it would probably, you already said how they were tumbling. I think that they are going to have trouble maneuvering in any way. Their maneuvering capacity is going to be
fantastic.
Is going to be compromised badly. I mean, it was structural damage too, right?
Yeah,
so that makes sense. I mean,
love it.
Basically, we knocked out their axle. We messed up their axles. Come on, this is just a motorcycle fight. We know that, right? So
with sledgehammers.
Yeah, exactly.
Streets of Fire. Okay, so Anya has intercepted this code. All right, now Anya, right? This is how we're going to phrase this one, right? Because Ensign Yang is our lead, right? We're going for the drama, right? Anya, you've been on this ship for a long time. Maybe you first entered Starfleet when Ensign Yang was like in high school. Right?
At best, yes. Uh-huh.
Does he even shave yet? Why are they making the recruits so young? Right? Mm-hmm. It's that kind of situation, right? And you've just intercepted this very important code. The Avicenna has been attacked for the first time in, like by a hostile vessel, for the first time in a long time.
In a while, right?
Right.
Uh-huh. We
And-
got a big like medical thing on our side. You're not supposed to do that. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And a lot of the, hard-bitten warriors have been transferred out to other duty
Right,
posts, the ones
right.
who are unfit for medical duty. Right?
Probably because of PTSD, etc. Right. Go on. Uh-huh.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's imperative, right, that this code be broken. Right. And so because of her fondness for Ensign Yang, his presence, right, and her sense that deep inside him, he is a leader among men, his command. Right. That will be the lead set of dice for this roll. How much has Ensign Yang impressed her, motivated her to try and crack this code under fire? She'll, of course, be contributing her normal control and communications. But
So Ensign is making a presence and command.
yep.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
Untapped potential.
I ran out of momentum for that.
Yeah, all the
I
momentum
know,
is
and-
now gone. So
That's okay. Just
Uh,
nodding toward its presence on the sheet rather
Actually, this is a good place to bring up Yang's focus of inspiration.
uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
let's see if I roll
Let's
under,
see.
if I roll under a tree for that. Oh, so close.
than. Oh well.
So I have one success out of my 2 dice. But
Okay.
it's not under the focus, so it's only
That's
one
fine.
success.
So we're sitting on one success. We need the ship and
Ron
Anya.
can roll for-
Yeah,
and
I've got a
Anya,
ship,
yeah. And
Right.
Anya as well.
but I should wait for Anya. Correct?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I roll an 11 for the ship, which I think is probably okay. I don't know the target number.
It's exactly the right number. And for Anya, she
Mhm.
I believe it's 11 for her target number.
yeah, well, it could be. I don't have her stats in
It's-
front of me.
It's a control and science, is it?
Control and science. Yes.
Yeah, that's 11.
Okay. All right.
KC, go ahead and roll. I think.
Oh, you want? Oh, would you want?
Yeah, yeah.
to
Well,
roll
no, I
Anya?
will. I will do it. That's right. I'm
Yeah.
supportive. 2 dice.
No,
2 dice. 1 die.
One for Anya.
Right. Okay. And I roll a 19, like I do
What?
with these dice. Yeah, I know. I roll tons of these high values on these dice for some reason. So
But it's still 2 success, I believe.
That's
Yeah.
2 successes. Yeah. Which is enough to finish
okay. Oh,
cracking
God.
the code.
Which tells us
Now, Anya's very quick, right? Right. So as the code is cracked, Korsakov is still kind of speaking. Right. Hail that ship.
Mhm.
It all kind of filters into place for her. Here's the basic information, which is all you're going to get.
Mhm. Yes, we got it.
All right. The basic information is they are sending another burst transmission. And this time where it's being sent because you're at the point of origin of it.
Right.
Huh.
You can tell where they're sending it. They are communicating using the Klingon code, speaking in Klingon.
Ooh.
Right, so the
To
Orions
the-
are speaking in Klingon, using the Klingon code, and they're saying the Federation Devils have destroyed the Elasian and Troyan vessels.
Mhm.
That's-
Disinformation.
That's what they sent. Yes.
So this is okay. Back up just a little bit. The Orions are saying this. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Klingon.
In Klingon,
Right.
in the older
Right.
Klingon
Right.
code.
And they are broadcasting it.
To another ship.
To another ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Obviously not the Elasian or Troyan ships, because that's what's being referred to, and that would be nonsense.
Right. And stuff that everybody knows is that this, because you've seen it, right? This little ship, which is utilizing this way over the top power curve, right?
Right.
These guys have to be like suicide.
No, it's souped up. It's
Yeah.
go and yeah.
But
This is
here's the
very
thing.
deep waters
It's
here. Yeah.
it's completely unable
Hmm.
to have done something like towed one of these starliners or
Right. Okay.
like
I think I need a little less insight now and backstopping and a little more action.
go.
Well, first and foremost, um, actually, while Anya is hailing the Korsakoff says, proceed as ordered to Anya Smith. Um, and
Hail the
in
ship.
terms of talking, right, hail the Troyans now. And
The
the
Troyans or the Orions?
well, I get that. I'm getting all mixed. I know who they are in terms of aliens. Who was attacking whom of
Right.
those two?
The
The
Orions.
Elasians were attacking, correct?
The legions were attacking the Trojans.
I want the Elasian ship
And
hailed. I want to talk to them now. And I also want to, Captain, we need, I'll click my chair and say, Captain, we need an update on the diplomacy.
Okay. So I think you mean the Orions that you want her to hail.
the one that we just shot
The
at.
ones you just shot.
Let me clarify.
Okay.
I'm letting them tumble through space and I'm letting them talk to whomever they want to.
Okay. So you do want to talk to the Elatians. Gotcha. Okay, cool.
I do. I want to talk to the Elasians, the Orions. All that stuff is deep waters. I do not do the
No.
deep waters at this time.
Okay.
We have a deep water captain who can talk to weird people in that zone, and that's their problem. But I want
right.
to know what's going on. Do we have hostilities from Elas at this time?
All right. So these ships have been on hold,
Mm-hmm.
since before the beam out. So
Yep.
it's a simple matter to raise them, and it can be put on main screen or however you want to speak to them through Anya.
Mm-hmm. In that case, I'm patching through the captain. I'm saying, Captain, talk to these people. Do I or do I not fire on them? It's up to them.
Okay. So there's a brief pause. Tillich makes himself available. Lieutenant Korsakov, speaking to you on the comms.
Yeah, and the answer is ready for orders, Captain.
The Elasians and the Trojans are not quite ready to talk. Have you stopped the hostilities between the ships?
We have stopped the hostilities. The Orion cruiser is out of control and momentarily incapable of combat, at least. Lieutenant Smith has sent you the relevant information about what it's doing. We do not have confirmation from the Elasians that they have ceased hostilities toward the Trojan ship. Without that confirmation, I will move into combat defense for the Trojans.
Order both ships to stand down.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Order both ships to stand down. Send a security detachment to the meeting room.
Oh, I trust that we will permit me a moment of silence in response to that.
Silent
I kind of blink for a second. I don't even talk. I just make a gesture toward the guy at the security console.
Mondragon starts speaking quietly.
This kind of gesture. Not like a Vietnam commando gesture that he knows exactly what it means. It's just the kind of urgently, waving at him. And then to Anya, it's patch me through to the Elasian captain. Stands down your weaponry, or we will actively defend the Trojan vessel.
Okay, that's a cool place to start. All right, so on the main viewer, we get a look, like back in time, to how things used to be 100 years ago or more.
Oh, really? Okay.
This wow, they traveled through space in a ship like that kind of feeling. And of course, we have the very colorful, very dramatic
Oh my God.
armor of orange
I
armor
MGM
of the
coloration
Elasians.
of the
Armor.
Elasians. Yeah, they
Right.
spray paint. They spray painted everything.
Right. So it's a very utilitarian vessel, right? There is no softness like what we saw inside the Orion bridge in our cutscene, right? This is hard. There's big rivets. Everything is
But
switches
they're
and
all
dials.
duded up like psychedelic circus clowns.
Well, they're wearing orange body armor that sparkles, but that's because
Like I said,
they come from a world with a high degree of crystalline activity.
yes, yes, and swirly hair.
Right. So, and they're looking daggers. There's no sign of a captain.
Okay,
Remember, he was beamed out.
Beamed up.
right. Oh,
And
yeah,
there's chaos. They're fighting amongst each other. Everybody's armed. They've got
right.
obvious personal weapons for
Fine. The more of them shoot each other, the happier I
dueling
am
or
at
whatever,
this point.
right?
Right. Less people
And
to talk to.
The person in charge, the head whips around to the appropriate viewing angle, and he says, "Federation vessel, explain yourself. We have every right to find the royal executioner. Why are we being prevented?"
Stand down or face destruction.
Ooh. Let's see how well that penetrates. Presence
Presence indeed.
and command.
And command. All right, then.
As we threaten a
gives
foreign
me-
power.
Is this the proverbial right?
No, we threaten a foreign power. All right. So presence and command. I should point out that this is not like his best target number. Okay.
It's okay.
So
Life is hard.
yes.
He is diplomatic,
So-
however.
You want to call this diplomacy? I did say face it rather than experience it. So, okay, that's fair. I buy that. That is diplomatic. So,
It's not all sunshine and roses and dinners. It's
no. Oh, and I'm gonna like it. My focus does apply because I roll a 1. I roll 2 successes objectively. One of them is a 1, so that's 3 successes.
So either
And
way,
that's
good,
also my focus, so that makes us 4, I believe.
No.
No. It's an either or thing. So
Okay. Oh, got it. Okay. No problem. You can't double dip. So
as much as
3
I've heard arguments to the contrary. Yeah, but
I'm not arguing, right?
no, not
I'm
you. I'm talking about the
enthusiasm,
past.
Yeah.
The
But I
internet.
should, right?
This is
No,
9
3 is-
successes.
Right, exactly. I get 3.
3 successes, which is awesome. Right. So we will cease hostilities while our captain and we assume the Trojan dog
Thank you. Click.
there's tension on the bridge.
Our bridge? I think
Yeah,
our
our
bridge
bridge.
might be amused by that one. What's the tension about?
Don't know. All right, so Mondragon is keeping an eye on the tumbling Orion
Yeah.
craft,
Yeah.
and
What's his report? Orion? Or
That-
the Orion?
the Orion vessel is slowing down, regaining control, sir. Whatever it was that they were doing, they're working against the complication.
Ugh.
Anya can
Okay,
report
well-
that the burst transmission is over. They've sent out their misinformation, but she can inform you that a wideband repetition of the signal was sent for the benefit of lower technology locals, and a probe was launched
Holy crap.
toward Elas, which is broadcasting the same information.
Captain, we have an information situation. The Orion vessel is not disabled. What are your orders?
Further disable them.
All I can hear is like we hear several fisticuffs emerging from the conference room. I was going to say, I hope my security squad over there has actually hammerlocked our two captains.
Actually,
not...
what you hear over the intercom is the discharge of a phaser on stun setting. And Tillich, there's the pause, right? Tillich says, and then there's, and then brief pause, and then he says, further disable them, Lieutenant.
Andrew, sorry, Andrew. I keep saying Andrew Yang is an American politician. That's why I keep saying that. That's why his name is not going to be Andrew. I was wondering where that came from, and I finally realized. Okay, so never mind that part. Ensign Yang, take us there to the Orion, and Mondragon, Officer Mondragon,
Ensign,
prepare for further action. Okay, and I will say on all bridge, all decks, prepare for further action.
Of course, Scott's voice echoes.
Hostilities are not. We are not finished.
Right. So briefly, we hear the klaxon again, even though it's been.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Time. No, this time it's not muted. We are on full go now.
All right. How about an attack pattern or something like that?
Ensign Yang can do an attack pattern.
Okay. Why would we want to do an attack pattern, Ensign Yang?
So we don't die?
An attack pattern is a daring contest, difficulty 2, assisted by ship's weapon con. If successful, the flight control's next turn, all attacks made by the ship is reduced by 1 to a minimum of 1. And this has a fire requirement of 1. So
that's not bad.
If we equate disabling with totally wrecking the ship, then it would be a very useful thing.
Okay. Well, considering what it just did, I don't have much sympathy for these people. But on the other hand, it's always better to disable and march them away looking sheepish than it is to, disintegrate them. But if
although before we get into the Orion scale, may I suggest on Anya's behalf, maybe she can perform some sort of signal jamming on the probes and the broadcaster messages.
This is
do it if you can.
This is something that she could handle as a part of her duties, and we're not going to roll for it, but she would have to be ordered to do it, right? So
okay, I will say do it if she makes that suggestion. I will say do it if you can.
All right. So some of the signal. Right, because you have to be aware of the signal before you can jam it, right? Some of the signal may have gotten out, but she's working against it. It's the probe that is of concern, right? The black box.
Well, it's going to deploy the whole Elasian Navy at us, I imagine, such as it is. So,
okay, so the Orion vessel is slowing down, regaining control, and making a wide turn. And the sensor operator is sending the feedback to Ensign Yang and other things. It's possible that this course that they're on is either a vector for another high-speed pass to escape or a high-speed pass to attack.
Right. They were sending that signal to another vessel too, and I really hate the idea of more vessels. So, all right.
Ensign Yang is going to take the ship to a higher elevation to try to swoop down on the Orion so that all guns are facing forward.
All right.
Yeah, we'd like that part.
All guns blazing. Now, the Orion vessel still has no shields. They haven't been able to recover their shields. Firing on them at this point is
gratuitous. We love it.
But I still have to make the attack pattern check, right?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Right.
Okay.
So,
right. This is where Ensign Yang gets to use his other talent. that I've been waiting to use. Just let me confirm. And this will be using thread. All right. So Anthony is going to perform this with daring, and therefore he'll be tapping into his bold talent. So I will be buying 1 dice with thread.
Okay.
And now into the attack pattern. So my daring and con. So that's target number of 9 plus 4, 13. Okay, wonderful. I have 2 successes out of the 3 dice. One of them is a 1, so that's double the success.
Good.
The other is a 2, but I'm not seeing a focus here unless you're allowing me to apply evasive action.
We're definitely attacking now,
Yeah,
so I'm gonna say no on that one.
Fine.
Yep.
But that's fine. I rolled an 18 on my 3rd dice, but I'm using my bold talent to re-roll that.
Okay.
And it becomes a 4, so that's another success.
Right on. How many successes?
That's 3 in total.
3 in total. So earning yourself 1 momentum. The difficulty was 2.
Okay. And I have my difficulties for attacks are reduced by 1.
Right.
Oh,
Subsequent to this one.
Ron can roll for the ship, which is weapon plus con.
Yep.
And the target number is 12, I believe.
Yep.
Ooh, I get a 9. I have a success.
So that's
hooray!
4 successes.
Love that momentum on that black line.
All right. This is real momentum, not bonus momentum. So.
Right.
Yeah. So
actually, no, I lie. One of these is bonus momentum. It
Can
has
you
to
slide
be
them
used.
apart or something?
Done.
Yeah, beauty. Okay. KC, I believe we are now attack patterned. Do we have to use that bonus momentum immediately? I believe, is that correct? Or lose it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's use that. We can't give them a complication, but we can do something with it. KC, what are our yeah.
Just buy the dice. Yep.
There's no task to
yeah, that's my problem.
Right. You could learn something about the Orion.
Oh, that's what I want. I want to learn. Where did they send that burst transmission? To whom?
Right. Okay. They sent it to one of the other 5 zones, right? And it's been very, very busy, but the probe sent there never did report. And Anson Yang, with an eye toward, boxing them in for a precise attack, recognizes that they're on a vector to escape at warp in that direction, perhaps
zone.
for a rendezvous.
Right. What is the name of that zone, Anthony? Make it up, please.
Oh, it's in the outer ice belt of the Helena system. So it's another location that has lots of tumbling bodies.
Right. Make special note: the outer ice zone is compromised by a third party. We don't know if it's more Orions. We don't know if it's some kind of Klingons. We don't know anything, but it is compromised. Done. This sector or this system is compromised. Right. Case closed.
Okay,
specifically in the outer ice belt zone. I want that known, recorded, logged, and documented.
Cool.
Right.
Excellent. Okay, so the Avicenna is set up with a nice firing position. If they go to warp, if they don't go to warp, right, we are set up for that. All right.
It is their turn, or do we go?
It is their turn.
Sad to say, I knew that was coming.
All right. If you had 2 momentum, you could spend them for a swift
I
task.
would have
for an additional
complicated. I
task.
would have complicated their asses, but no, not this time.
All right, so I am going to spend some threat.
Excellent. It's time for. I haven't thrown myself across the bridge for ages.
2. Anya Smith receives a transmission from the Elasian High Council.
Of course we do.
Upon which such luminaries as the Dolmen of Elas might be required to serve. The Dolmen of Elas, of course, married the king of Troyius.
Mm-hmm.
So the High Council wants to communicate with the commander of the Avicenna. Commander of the Avicenna was requested to come to the bridge by Lieutenant Korsakov, has not arrived.
Right.
What do I do?
The commander is busy. Put them on hold.
I'm never going to make retirement.
Yeah, no, I think Anya and I are both. Yeah, Anya and I are like this again, right?
Okay, that response is going to give me some of my threat back.
Oh, okay.
All right. The Orion turns to fight.
Oh.
So they set up their escape vector, but by surprise, they pivot. I'm taking another action for them, and they fire.
Awesome.
Interestingly enough, Mondragon has time to recognize that they're firing disruptors.
Ooh.
Much like the Klingons would use.
I was going to say that outer ice belt sector could have a lurking. The Klingons could easily be operating through a cutout here. But of course, who knows? Somebody. And causing trouble with the Klingons is in the interests of any number of other people. So just like, and these guys are good at disinformation. Who knows? Could be anyone.
Dun, 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 dun. 8, 15, and 13. Their disruptor blast misses.
Ooh, really?
Really.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap.
Yes.
Which I find monumentally disappointing considering how expensive that all was. But anyway.
I know. I was kind of looking forward to taking a hit there. All right. So I do a generalized role play to see if anyone agrees with me that there's a distinct difference between the recruits or the new members of the crew and the older member or the more people who've been on the Avicenna
about being fired upon
or the refit. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've got a whole bunch of like dinner plate eyes, and then a whole bunch of business as usual faces. The contrast as you pan across the bridge is absolutely distinct.
Yeah, I think that's
nobody
important.
likes it. Yeah. Nobody likes disruptors fired on them, but some of us are like, and we came for this. We've done this. Others are like, disruptors, holy crap. So,
right. And the sensor operator just yells out, "Still no shields, Captain." Not Captain, Lieutenant.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Is
it's
it
your
our
turn.
turn yet?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. All right.
Jose, fire.
Dive right in.
Phaser fire. This
Phaser
is
fire?
yeah.
Do we want to go all in on this?
Well, I was going to say we could blow them up with photon torpedoes, but frankly, I consider that gratuitous. I am fine with a full phaser fire of
Full
plain
phaser
old,
fire. Yeah.
Turn up the heat on the phasers and give them a good one.
You mean spend momentum on spend ship's power on the phasers?
Yes, I do.
Power?
I do.
Maximum power?
Maximum power phaser. Well, whatever it is, one power.
Yeah.
I want to zap them with the next one to fire, one more, just like last time, except that it's not pew pew. It is turn it up.
Okay.
High intensity. That's the word I want. High intensity phaser.
Okay. Make it happen.
Hmm?
So once again, we're going to do this through Korsakov, right? He's just explained what he wants. Is he standing up in front of the chair, or is he sitting in the chair?
No. At this point, he's sitting. Like I said, the old hands know that you sit in these circumstances. That way, you don't fall as far sideways. So,
Okay.
So I can roll for Mondragon and the ship once.
Yeah.
The
Okay, so here come my 2 dice. I don't think I have extras coming. That extra dice, that extra momentum sitting there.
Yep.
I'm hoping to gain more momentum, and then we can complicate them. That's my whole. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to use it. All right then. Oh, and I get me a 6 and a 2. Some low rolls. I get my 2 successes, and I do have phaser tech engineering as a focus. So I'm maximizing. I know what the phasers can do.
Okay. That works for me.
So I'm calling this a 3 success roll.
Okay. And the ship and Mondragon.
I will roll for Mondragon. Mondragon is control and security, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, that is a success. No focus is applied, so that's 1 success. And the ship, the ship is weapon security fails.
Okay,
So
4
1 more
successes.
Yep.
All right. On a difficulty of 2, which was reduced by 1. So 2-1 because of the attack, right? So that gives us those
3 momentum plus the phasers.
We are in great shape.
But we don't know if the phasers are giving us extra yet.
Yeah, now we've got to go and zap.
4, 6, 8.
Who against no shields? That's just vile.
Would you like to use some momentum to add more
No,
damage?
I think we can. No. We want the momentum for complications.
Remember how I talk about threat? This is how I get you to accidentally blow up the Orion.
Yeah, that's right. I know.
I just want to be completely transparent.
And also, let's just say that the accidentally blow up part, I'm considering that as a calculated risk, and I'm not going to weep any tears. Right.
It was a self-destruct. Here we go.
There's no choice at this point.
All right, so for blanks, there are 4 blanks.
Ooh, thank God. Actually, that's a good roll for us.
1 effect, 1 double, 1 single. So I'll just get the blanks out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
You may want to re-roll some of them so you can accidentally blow up the Orion.
Yeah, I got you on that one. Tell me what we get from this as our baseline.
So you've done 4 damage, and you can activate Versatile.
Right.
Which will give you bonus momentum of 2.
Okay. Does it matter where we hit them in this particular case?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I think it might.
You can roll
So
20.
I shall roll for the location. Is that correct, Anthony?
Roll it.
Okay. Ooh, a 14 this time.
Interesting. 14 is still structure. It's a pretty broad section of die roll.
Okay. It is a structure.
Gotcha.
All right, so this is an additional hit on structure. It's an attack through no shields, so it does an extra breach. So they had a breach, right?
Mm-hmm.
You did an additional breach, and you've just done 2 more.
Right.
So we're at 4 breaches for them. They are in a bad way. I have to go back to the damage chart.
Excellent.
But you've got your momentum to do a variety of interesting things like bonus damage, or we haven't dealt with. I'm not that
interested in bonus damage. I'm real interested in a couple of things, Casey. So this is just
let me finish my train of thought.
Oh, yes, please.
You have inflicted, or you've got 4 points of damage coming in against their resistance of 3. So we're only looking at 1. It's still going to be quite effective because no shields, but you might want to do more damage than that.
Got it.
That's where the 1 momentum can go to reduce.
Right. So let's. So while we're speculating on what to do, 1 is to drop the resistance in order to do more.
Okay,
that's
done.
fine. Okay. Well, no. Stop that. We're talking.
Oh, I see. I thought you were.
I am consulting with KC tabletop.
What?
So that's one. That's one thing.
That's one. That's
another.
Remember, we have 2 that we have to spend immediately, or we lose them. So
absolutely. No, we're going to do that. We would definitely use them. Another thing to think about is that knocking out their communications seems like a really, really, really good idea. So if we can complicate their communications, that seems like a really good idea.
Yeah,
Um,
that works.
and
That
another,
works.
the last thing the final thing I'm really, really worried about, if they are this crazy and didn't expect to come back, they may well have a suicide switch. So whatever it takes to make that not happen, and I don't know if that means reducing their resolution, right, their motivation, all of a sudden it might not seem as worth it, or number two, to like depower them entirely so they can't blow themselves up, right? That's a possibility. So whatever the numbers play out, to make that, to decrease the risk of them suiciding out of here, right? That's something I'd like to prevent.
Or committing to a self-destruct.
Right. So those are, either committing to it or being capable of it, whichever is easier to prevent. So those are my thoughts. The resistance is a great thing. Dropping the resistance is a great thing, but those are the other two things on my mind. What are your thoughts?
I agree completely.
Oh, awesome. That never happens. Okay. So really?
No, I mean the math works out. It costs five momentum altogether.
Okay. Numbers wise, make it so.
I will spend these 5 momentum then.
Okay.
They are now spent.
So the resistance is down, is that correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
So okay. That leaves a resistance of 1. So 3 damage carries through into the ship.
Yep.
Right. This inflicts another breach.
Awesome. They are breached all over.
This causes this small ship.
This is structure, right? Are they starting to like separate? Are they in different pods now? Hopefully?
Well, what the sensor operator is aware of and what the experienced hands would be imagining based on personal experience, but the new hands have no idea about, is this kind of hit after the previous hit that blew through the shields. That everywhere on the Orion vessel, there are fires, there are consoles exploding, there are people falling from great heights, there's failures of life support and gravity, there are systems that are being shut down, there are some people who are being vented out into space.
Right.
The bridge crew, many of them are hammered out of their very luxurious and comfortable seats, except of course for the commander,
he just gets spun around a couple of times,
who is watching his ship die.
Right. I will instantly say cease phaser fire.
Ceasefire. Okay.
Ceasefire.
Now you
instantly
created a complication to do what exactly?
Communications. In terms of their ability to broadcast.
Okay. Systems all over the ship are collapsing, and so yeah, that's a good one.
And there's a second one.
What do you think, Casey? For their maneuverability,
we were going for the power source thing, right?
That's right. Yeah, we're going to try and keep them from generating enough energy to blow themselves up. We want to drop that.
Yeah. All right. So I will give you a cutscene. The Orion captain stands up, right, raises his fist to slam it down on a very obviously marked, orange button on the console. He slams it down, and nothing happens.
Ah, thank God. Okay.
And he slams it down again.
Yeah.
And
looks up in shock. Yeah, right? I got you.
And nothing happens. And then the Mondragon gives you a report. Security reports that there is phaser fire in the estate rooms. This is on the same deck as the shuttle bay.
Oh, phaser fire in our staterooms?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I look up at the heavens, and I will say, Anya, take the con, and then I say alert to my security console. It's alert another security deployment. Meet me there, and I'm out the door. I've got places to go. We have problems on our own ship now, right? And I'm sure Anya can handle things like what's called tractor beaming the dudes. And
Oh,
yeah,
are we tractor beaming?
No, it's the Orions. It's the Orions now. There's tractor beams all over the place. I don't know if I'm sure we lost our tractor beam lock on the Elasians, right?
Yeah, you had to let it go in order to pursue.
Yeah, we had to let that one go. So we followed orders and went after the Orions. We got to tractor lock them now. So I'm sure Anya knows all that shit and can go do it. I'm over on the Jane Smith. What's her
Jane
situation?
Finch.
Fitch, yes.
Yeah.
She's the rank. If she's on the bridge, whoever's next in rank gets the con. That's my point.
You can give it to Anya. It's fine. There's no problem giving it to Anya.
Yeah.
Right? And someone will replace her on comms who has to deal with a planetary government on hold and 2 foreign vessels on hold who've had their commanders abducted.
My orders are to secure the Orion vessel. Done that. Now I'm going to go and deal with my next mandate, which is security aboard ship. Off I go. Right? Someone else talks to the Federation. They know they don't want to talk to me, and I don't want to talk to them. We have a relationship. All right. So, so off I go down the turbo lift.
Right. Through the turbo lift to Deck 6. Where Korsakov is well aware, of course, is the dignitary quarters, transporter room 2, shuttle bay access, and the impulse engine room.
The impulse engine room, I do not like the idea of that being near anything. How come that thing's not like heavily shielded away from everything? Who let diplomats and everybody near there?
There's only so much space on the ship.
It is a saucer, that's true. Everything's near everything. So in that case, I'm headed straight for those estates. Now, that's not the same as the conference room where the commanders were all gathered, correct? That's a different place. Which I'm pretty sure they're all sleeping at this point. I trust Telek. So I'm not going to worry about that.
That was on Deck 3, right?
Right. I'll even mention to a security guy who joins me. I'm sure the captain has the conference room well in hand. Let's go and see about those estates.
All right. So on Deck 6,
I'll even be shouting, report, as we're going through the quarters.
Okay. We don't actually have to go very far because, again, small ship. So the turbolift doors open and you can hear 2 things distinctly. Phasers on stun, and you can hear the shocking and disturbing sound of disruptors. All right. Well, we do not want lethal phaser fire. Yeah, go ahead. Let me finish the description. So as you come out of as the turbolift doors open, I won't move you out of the turbolift. As the turbolift doors open, you can see a very muscular Troyan officer.
Oh, interesting. Okay, a Troyan one. That's muscular Troyan officer.
Muscular, right. He says emphatically, Troyan officer.
Hey, this is 1970 Trek. We see ripples.
Okay.
They recruit for casting, among much beefcake.
I'll make myself more clear. It's atypically muscular for a Troyan.
Oh, I'm on it. I'm on it.
Sometimes I'm obscure.
I'm on it. I was surprised. We do not associate these guys with beefcake. That's over there on Elas. We get that.
And there is a melted phaser on the deck. There is, of course, no body. And the action is further down and around the corridor. What we are at on deck 6, we have immediate access to the transporter room, which has security guards in front of it on alert. These are not the 2 that you have summoned to aid you.
Right. But those are my security guards in that direction,
Right.
and they're alive.
And they're alive, and they're screening the transporter room. It's a
Right.
it's
right.
a high sensitivity target.
Absolutely.
So
right.
the fight is somewhere down by the access to
But
the
this
shuttles
guy,
or
but
the
this guy
dignitary
is
quarters.
here. This guy's here, close to the transporter. Okay.
Right.
In that case, we're taking him down, and I will say.
Oh, he's down. He's a body.
Oh, he's a body. Okay. Right. So I'll flash a quick thank you look to my transporter guards, who I'm certain have zapped him. So that's good. And I'll acknowledge them, and then with
they let
forward,
you know,
right,
sir, the captain's in pursuit.
The captain, what's he doing in pursuit? So I'm going to I give them got it, and they know to maintain their position. I don't have to tell them that. So right. I and my 2 buddies, I think, are going to go in pursuit after whatever mayhem is occurring down on that corridor that the captain should not be mixed up in.
So as you get your
he has Starfleet to talk to. He has Elas to talk to.
As you get your 2-second report from the 2 guards who secured the transporter deck, the turbolift disgorges your 2 security guards, and you book it down the hallway to see 2 security guards active, taking cover in recessed doorways. Right? There's enough space to just press yourself up against the door on both sides of the door, right? So on one side we've got Tillich with phaser 1, and we've got security guards in 2 other doorways. So all 3 have taken cover, right? And the security guards, of course, have phaser 2s. Tillich being Tillich, it's very likely that everybody's set to stun.
Yes, I've got it. Okay.
Further down the hallway, also undercover, right, is another muscular-looking Troyan who is using the Elasian commander. He's got pretty ornate-looking orange sparkly armor, right?
The Elasian commander,
right? He's using him as a shield. Right, so he's got the phaser pressed up against him. The guy is livid, right? He's been disarmed.
Oh yeah.
And
well, the Elasians do not take kindly to being manhandled by Troyans. I mean, that is a whole role reversal here, and this guy must be the most humiliated Elasian on the face of the solar system.
So he's angry at everybody, right?
Right.
And he's not backing down or cowardly at all, right?
No, he's kicking and screaming, I bet. Yeah.
But he's just not able to overpower this guy. Like his feet are barely touching the ground. And,
right.
So the Troyan is locking eyes with Tillich and then shifts his focus to your trio as you come pounding down the hall.
Absolutely. I've got one thing to say to Tillich, which is go talk to the Elasians. And it's not even a please or anything.
Right. Okay. Now, normally, under normal circumstances, main characters get to go first. However, woohoo!
Battle chart or something. Yes. You're going to spend some threat to get to go first.
I'm going first.
Absolutely. That's what it's for. You spend that threat on this stuff all you want to. It means less.
Yeah. Okay. And Firing a disruptor. Now, we are at close range. We're in a hallway. There's cover. He has cover. He's firing outside of cover. You don't have cover.
No, I don't.
All right. Now, this is an opposed task. All right.
I'm ready.
I'm assuming you want to fire back, is what I'm saying.
Yes, in a kind of duck and,
Sure, yeah.
duck and throw myself sideways firing sort of way. Yes.
The dice are going to let us know how successful that was.
I'm with you on that one. Yes.
All right, so I'm going to be rolling 3 dice to blow the snot out of, I'm going to evaporate the snot out of Korsakov.
Of course you are. And so my options are simply to roll my 2 dice, or to grab another die from that momentum, which is sitting right there.
Uh-huh. And there's also threat.
Oh, you mean take more threat? Yeah, right. This imagine my highly Russian gesture in your direction.
All right, so you're going to use the momentum.
3 dice.
Okay, cool beans.
And that also puts me then at fitness, I believe.
Yeah.
Fitness and security, which is my go-to.
Is your thing, right?
That's my happy place. All right.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Let's roll.
Or you go first.
Let's just roll.
Mm-hmm.
I get 3 successes, 2 of which are 4s. Those meet his focus. So I'm looking at 5 successes.
I think I'm about to be disrupted because I have 1 success.
Okay. So in melee or whatever kind of combat that we have, we don't necessarily have to do it this way with ranged combat, but I prefer it, right?
You go right ahead.
Right. We're exchanging fire, and how do things work out? Well, he's laying down superior fire. Right. So nailing with, as I said, 5 successes. I'm going to go back to the, which generates 1, 2, 3. Threat for me. Okay. For me to use to do terrible things with.
All set. Ready.
All right. Now, KC, just for learning and honesty purposes, right? I've just shot Lieutenant Korsakov with a disruptor, an energy weapon. What do I do now?
Unfortunately, it was not expecting a human-to-human contact of close combat. So let me see if I can find weapons, disruptor, damage effect. Disruptor. It's a pistol or a rifle?
Pistol.
Pistol. It's a vicious 1, which I believe generates threat.
Yeah.
The vicious says the attack inflicts X additional damage for each effect roll. So with a pistol, it's a vicious 1.
Right.
So 1 effect equals to 1 additional damage.
Yep. All right. And how many dice do I get?
3.
3.
As the base.
Plus his security.
Security?
Yeah. Just 4. So I'm rolling 7 dice. Can you hear the disruptor fire? Blank. Blank.
Oh, good.
Effect. Effect. Double. Double.
Ouch.
Double.
Oh, couldn't those have been singles? Okay. 6 plus 2 effects.
Yeah. Which means
So the 6. Mm-hmm.
the effects, the vicious, activate. So I get to roll an additional die, which is blank.
Oh, good. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Small favors.
And I get to do... Oh, sorry, it was 2 additional dice, not 1 additional die.
Effects.
Here's the second one. Ooh, double. Okay.
And
So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now this is enough to totally vaporize Korsakov. This is 2 5s. I don't recommend that Korsakov take this lying down.
What are my options?
There is a move called avoid injury. This can be triggered through momentum or determination. This is the one case where determination can be spent regardless of value because we believe that most people value their own lives.
That would be a value most of the time. Okay. So I do that.
However, Korsakov has spent his determination.
I was thinking about that.
So this leaves momentum.
Any momentum sitting there?
Dun, dun, dun.
Because I don't think there is.
Yeah, I
Boink.
remember it is 0 as well.
Yep.
Okay. So that deals 2 lethal injuries to Korsakov.
Yeah. So I walk straight into it.
Now, are there any opportunities for medical staff like Captain Tillich to rush to his aid? Of course, that was going to put Captain Tillich under fire.
Right.
Okay. What do we think?
Captain Tillich has a job to do.
Yeah. All right. So, oops. What am I looking for? I'm looking for. Just need to double check.
Well, yes, but his job is not to take care of me. His job is to
take care of the ship. Yeah.
take care of the ship.
I just want to make sure that I have remembered all the aspects of avoid injury.
Well, there is a first aid action, I believe.
Yep.
Which I think is still something that
There it
Tillich
is.
would do. Yeah, it's first aid. It's not taking him to sick bay.
Now, yes, this is the detail that I wanted to remember. Is this an immediate spend or not of momentum? So there is no momentum. So
Right.
Korsakov can't pay momentum to avoid injury.
Right.
It's an immediate spend, which means you can draw on threat. He spends 2 threat and can avoid the injury.
Oh. That
So-
seems like the way to go.
Yeah, because you did describe he was rolling,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
So now you could be rolling closer or something along those lines, or away from a section of corridor with cover. Avoid
Well,
injury.
to some extent, right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Avoid injury can also be done by suffering a complication.
We have our threat levels at this point are quite low by our ordinary standards, if I'm not mistaken. I was kind of hoping to drop them like way down.
So you want to take the
clear
complication?
decks. So, KC, this is what I'm suggesting, that I take the complication because I want Anthony to be out of threat. Which I believe, I don't know if it mandates the close of the episode, but it at least sort of levels things. What do you think? Because if I take the complication, I'm going to have a harder time with this guy, and I am super disadvantaged at this point. So
by avoiding injury, is he avoiding both lethal injuries or he's just avoiding one?
He's avoiding 1.
So
right, so I have another one, dude. So
Yeah.
I've got to take how many threat do I take? 2 per avoidance?
You can only avoid one
One
injury.
time.
So the complication, if you took the complication, I'm going to be assigning a wound trait for Korsakov to carry around.
Oh, for God's sake, wounds me.
Or I'm going to kill one of the security guards or something like
No, it's
that.
all complications. Go ahead and give me some injury. I mean, I haven't even checked off any stress or anything. So
Because we're
Give me-
the special effect is still slowly spreading across the screen. We haven't
No,
reached
I've
the
got you.
outcome yet. Yeah.
no, give
Okay.
me the complication.
They're going to
obviously.
avoid one of the injuries with a complication. I'm sorry this is moving along slowly. I just really want to be clear for
I get it.
Yeah.
everybody. So
No,
okay.
complicate me number 1. That avoids one, and then threat yourself for the other one.
Oh, you can only avoid it once.
Oh,
So you are marking, I did 10, right? Yes, you're marking 5 stress off. These are lethal wounds. Okay.
Well, wait, I have stress and injuries.
You're taking 1 injury because you've
Then you
taken
go to
5 stress.
1. Got it.
Because you've taken 5 stress.
I mark off the 5 stress.
Right. Oh, sorry.
And I take 1
I'm
injury.
lying. You're taking the full 10 stress. You're only taking 1 injury. Yes. There you go. Okay.
I have, since I am, I have one of my talents or one of my somethings or others, I can't remember what, but I gave me extra stress. So I'm actually not.
That's a talent.
I am not actually down in double digit. I'm still in double digit stress. So that's cool. Yeah. So I am hurt. Ow. Super ow.
Yeah. Okay, so the complication is your leg is crippled.
Okay, got it. Right. Oh, my leg. Damn it. All right then. So,
So Korshkov
fortunately,
is prone, which makes him easier
Right.
to hit in subsequent rounds. Can no longer avoid injury. So has already got 1 injury already. So any subsequent injury vaporizes.
will do the job. Right. Right. Okay, so I'm going to hope that my squad will protect me, but I will still tell the captain, get out of here.
All right. Now, in this moment, because we don't want Casey just sitting around, Casey, what are you going to do as Captain Tillich?
Absolutely. Oh, wait, I thought Telek was an NPC, not supporting, but are you shifting us?
Who sometimes you can
Sometimes.
be given the dice responsibilities for.
Absolutely. Okay.
I don't want to sit here rolling dice at myself. So
No, that's what the game is for, right? I mean, the game is built to do this. We do
But
it.
at this point, is there anything that Tillich can do to remove that other injury on Kosakov
yeah.
with
But
the first aid?
but
No, you'd
not,
be eating disruptor.
not from a position of safety.
Yeah, that's true.
So with his Vulcan strength, like he could drag him through the door or something.
Completely uninterested in any of these things. I really want the captain out of here. I've got a whole security team to help me out.
So, what this is a bit of a
So I'll just
narrative
re-describe to
take.
help you orient yourself.
Reorientation,
We have a
yeah.
curving hallway, right? We have 2 security officers who are in doorways with some cover because they're on the bad side of the curve.
Right.
We've got Tillich on the good side of the curve with a lot of cover, like able to lean around and fire. We've got Korsakov in the middle of the hallway with his leg seared. I mean, you can smell the burning flesh and the burning
I'm
fabric.
burnt. Right.
It's the will he ever walk again kind of injury.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 2 security guards who are being human threw themselves to the side.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And are going to regret that for the rest of their lives. Right. And
Well, they can all save my life now. I'll forgive them.
the shooter has his meat shield,
Asian hostage,
and he's slowly, backing his way down the hall toward
But he's not getting to the transporter. We're
the
blocking
shuttle
the
access.
transporter.
Toward
He's
the shuttle
headed for
access.
shuttles now. Okay.
just as bad. So that's why I was thinking. Like, Tillich is thinking, I've got a hostage situation and I've got my security officer shot, got his leg shot, and he's telling me to go back to the bridge. And I have, logically speaking, I'm outnumbering this guy, 5-1?
Yeah.
So at this point, I think Tillich, being the calm Vulcan that it is, I think the best way to calm the situation down is to defuse the situation. Now, I don't know his numbers. I don't have Tillich's numbers, but I think that's what Tillich would do.
So you want to talk to him?
Talk to this legion. At the expense of Korsakov's getting shot. He knows Korsakov got shot. He's probably just as angry that, you shot my chief security officer. But I'm taking what he thinks is the best course of action to de-escalate things.
Okay.
So this is perfect place for drama between Koshakov and Tillich much later on.
All right.
Okay, so you're going to step out and try to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a situation where he'd be able to use coercion, his coercion ability through medical, through doctor's orders, his talent. So that's pretty effective. And okay.
Are we so? Okay.
So you want to talk to him? You wanted to get him to see reason and surrender?
I thought you guys already had this conversation back in the conference room.
Something interesting happened in the conference room.
Yeah, probably something.
You've already talked to this asshole. We're done with that, aren't we?
So I'll fill you.
Yeah.
I'll fill you in. And so what does Tillich know? Tillich knows that the Elasian, who's here as cover, was furious because the dolman, Elaan, was recently assassinated.
Oh, really?
King Achille was also injured in the same attack, but he survives, and Elaan is murdered. They don't buy it. They think something is going on. Then they send their royal executioner, their inquisitor, right, to investigate.
We get it. Yeah.
And they disappear in transit. Then their communications are all cut off with the outside. They can't communicate with the Federation, who's supposed to be their friend. They can't communicate with Troyius. They can't communicate with anybody. And then when they take matters into their own hands and launch their own search, they are met by Trojan warships. Now, Trojan warships, yes, with pretty muscular.
Right. They've been roiding up in the interim. Yeah.
Okay. So Tillich, no dummy, is able to see that the Trojans the Orions through surgery and other means have managed to infiltrate Trojan society.
Ah, that's what's going on here. Okay.
And they were escalating tensions. So the Elasians are pretty much responding like anybody.
Right, they're not being crazy here. Right.
But they've been cut off. They haven't been able to communicate. And they did not buy Tillich's, well, we didn't know.
Right.
Because you're the all-powerful Federation. And the Orion in the guise of the Trojan captain was just working against diplomacy the whole time. And then when Tillich figures it out, he's an Orion, then it turns into a running phaser battle, which has ended up here.
Right.
Several security officers have been wounded or killed.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to try and make this guy see reason? He's an Orion, not an Elasian or Trojan, I mean.
Oh, wait. Oh, so the Trojan is holding the Elasian hostage, but now we know that the Trojan is
really an Orion.
The Orion.
Right. Right.
Then we can still flip the script a little bit around.
Okay.
As in knowing that he's an Orion rather than a Trojan. That you've shot one of my officers. That you're least likely going to come out of this alive. And plus the fact, I have 5 guns pointing at you.
You might also want to point out that his ship is completely disabled. There's nowhere to go.
His response is, I was never going to come out of it alive.
Our only choice, our only positive thing here is to save his hostage. That's all.
Yeah. That's
all.
Then the priority
there is no other thing to get.
It's
so, yeah. Right.
And not killing the Legion on the meantime.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say to the security team, my security guys, save the hostage at all costs.
Well, we still can use Tillich's coercion of Doctor's orders to at least put his guard down for a moment, for a nanosecond, so that the security guys
You can certainly do that in role-playing terms. I am simply ignoring Telek, and I'm telling my security team, take this guy out at all costs to him. Secondarily, yourselves. Do it.
So we're clear what people want. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Tillich has put forward the argument, you're not getting out of here. The counter argument was, I never was going to get out of here. And that is a moment of engagement. Is Tillich compelling enough?
Right. At the very least, we can get some momentum out of this.
This is what I want to establish. Okay, so you don't have... just a second. I just shared the screen. Now I'm unsharing the screen. Life is too hard. You don't have any momentum. That's what I was trying to remember.
Yep, we need some.
It's a raw 2-die roll for Tillich. This is his best roll.
He is good at this.
Right. So roll it.
Okay. My target numbers are 15.
Yeah.
Oh, dearie me. 2 fails.
Oh.
Any complication range?
I didn't increase the complication range, though.
You
Did you roll? You didn't roll a 20, but you rolled in the general vicinity of 20. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so
this could be a perfect place to like complicate a value here.
No kidding.
That's a virtue, my ass. My God.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to do instead. So that exchange goes in the Orion's favor. You'll see that I separated out 4 threat. Right? So I will spend them. Korsakov, weakly gasping through the pain, is calling for his crew to fire. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were creeping forward to pull Korsakov from the line of fire, and 2 of them rush forward to do that, while 2 of them squat down to fire. As the Orion pushes
of course,
Alasian into the line of fire.
That's fine. He can take 1. The other 3. Go ahead.
Well, these guys are firing stun, so. Right? But he stiffens, the Orion stiffens, right? Staggers, and falls dead on the deck.
Well.
From phaser fire, or is that something we're going to have to like medically?
No, wait. Number 1, this is obviously too fast for us to, I'm already told my men to fire, right?
Oh, they fired. I'm sorry if that wasn't clear.
Right.
They fired.
No,
right?
I know that they have fired. So that's not adjustable. Okay, fine. The only question is whether they accidentally shoot this guy.
Well, you're well aware that it was definitely phasers on stun that fill the hallway with.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Right.
We never said shift to kill. I was tempted, but we didn't. And so, okay.
So the Alasian hits the deck stunned.
Right.
And the Orion is still standing there, right, for a moment.
Right.
And then, eyes locked, right, and then glaze over, right, locked on Tillich, who he was talking with. Then they glaze over, and he collapses in that way that only dead people can.
No, we got that. Or very good stuntman. Okay, so with that, maybe that medical roll isn't that bad an idea.
Yeah. So we're going to bring this all into the coda as the end of the episode.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that. That didn't end quite the way I thought. Okay, carry on.
So there we go again with me ending an episode with a reversal again.
Yes.
All right. And, of course, it doesn't work out quite so well this time for the Orions because the Avicenna was able to capture the ship.
Right.
So that is going to be shunted off to the Federation to
exactly. So at least the disinformation isn't going to get out there that we went in there blasting away.
Well, I mean, it gets out, but but it can be countered. And
Right.
At cost.
Fortunately, Anya prevented most of the damage, right? But
Okay.
Elas has reason. They were the closest planet. They have reason to
Right.
be upset.
Right.
Korsakov will not lose the leg. If you're
Oh,
going to
good.
get shot on some kind of crisis response vessel with some really high quality doctors, is the
I was going to
perfect
say
place.
we have beepies. We have things that go
Ooh,
beep. We can
quality
do okay with
beeps.
that. Right.
Because I don't have time
Jim's
to
going to be
do it.
mad at me.
Because I don't have time to do it now, we will make how well we deal with the complication of the crippling
Right.
part of the next episode
Sounds good.
as a kind of
Yeah.
a prologue. All right, so it is uncovered, therefore, that the Orions initially captured, but then scuttled Elan's duty.
Right.
And were trying to cause an incident and blame it on Federation bungling or Klingon involvement or whatever. But they wanted both sides working against each other for the same old reason. They could profiteer in the
dilithium
chaos.
crystals are just sitting there.
Right. Plus, they could be moving weapons in, and arming Elas and arming Troyius.
Right. Right.
What the Federation at the end of the episode is unaware of is how deeply into Troyan government or Troyan.
That the Orions have infiltrated.
I can't think of the word I want that's similar to government, but anyway, society. The Orions have penetrated.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but the situation was prevented from escalating to war by the brave actions of the crew of the Avicenna. And we'll deal with reputation and all that stuff in a subsequent episode.
That's going to be a very interesting.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that little profiling.
Yeah.
Exactly why didn't the Orion go down in a hail of disruptor lethal fire or shoot his hostage or anything like that?
Why didn't he shoot his hostage? He didn't care.
For example,
about
he didn't care
about the hostage. Why did he go down dead instead of stunned?
No,
Poison.
not that. No, I know that. Why not just? Oh, because he knew he'd be taken alive. Okay, I see.
Right.
That makes
and
sense.
he was the last of the Orion group.
Troyan.
Right. We got that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got that too.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
okay. All right
Yeah.
then.
Does it all make sense? Does it all fit together?
Yeah. So I was a little curious about the motivation but then again, I realized these aren't bullets. He would be captured, and he does not want that.
But, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Right. Because I can't imagine Tillich having them shoot to kill.
No, well, also I know my options for actions were limited, especially in terms of time. So, and I debated shifting to kill.
Right.
But on the other hand, it was more important to save the hostage. That was the important thing, was saving the hostage. And the best way to do that was just blanket the whole place with stun fire. Just blanket.
Yeah.
The whole thing with stun
it was
fire.
the perfect
So that's
solution.
Right. So I realized that was actually the top priority. And that was actually one of my values, which is to do the right thing.
Yeah.
The satisfying thing would be to open up with kill on the guy who just shot me, but that's
Exactly.
not what Korsakov does anymore.
Yeah, so we can feel it. And I foiled all of that. I interposed by using the threat, right? So we've seen Korsakov, we've seen, using it as a verb, we've seen Korsakov through the entire episode, and then at the end of the episode, he's outgunned, right?
Right,
in a sense.
Absolutely.
Not by gunfire, really, but just by the ferocity of the suicidal commitment to whatever it is that this Orion is a part of. So that, I hope, raises an interesting question for the crew of the Avicenna.
We will, we can talk. Can't badass your way out of everything, and Korsakov knows this. So, yeah.
So I want to finish the episode actually with one short cutscene that we would get if it were really a TV show in the 70s, right? So as we have, the crew talking in sickbay about Korsakov's injury and, all the pieces that the individual characters don't know, which we have just talked about, the last shot of the episode is obviously on Troyius. And at a very large estate, there's Ambassador Kotri, right? Still very angry.
I'm sort of surprised that he's alive, but yes, go on.
Right, still very angry. His manacles are sitting on the table in front of him like he's just been released.
Ah, yes.
Right? And he's cursing a blue streak. He's talking about the king, and he's talking about the king's family, and
it's got to be the Dolmans coming in. She's fine. Yeah.
She's not. Sitting,
oh, bummer.
Sitting there enjoying the ambassador's alcohol with his feet up on the desk is a Klingon.
Of course. Right. Mm-hmm. The bastards. All right, then.
Not involved in the plot, but maybe involved in a later episode. Right?
In the later episode, or we still don't know if Klingons were involved in the outer space belt, or if it was just the Orions, so outer ice belt. Yeah.
All right.
Right then.
So that ends episode 1, Questions of Duty, and I hope at least there were some questions of duty.
Oh, lots and lots of learning. Lots and lots of learning moments there, too, system-wise, which is great.
You know how to buy good tomatoes, firm onions, meat that's juicy and red. These are things that go into spaghetti sauce, but how do you buy good spaghetti sauce? The best way is to look at it. This is Chef Boyardee. You can see it's rich and thick with tomatoes, and you can see chopped onions and lean ground beef. Chef Boyardee spaghetti sauce in a jar. You can see how good it is.
You're watching Channel 3, SF TV.